All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Monday, April 22nd. We have a smaller than usual MLB slate to dive into in today's video. Like we always do, we're going to go through each and every one of these games. I'll give you my lean on the side. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about any other plays that we like within the game as well. But as always, all of my final plays, so when I'm actually rolling with myself, if you do want to fade me, all of my final plays will be in the pinned comment. So like the NBA video for today, we're recording this the night before, so I don't have full results as of last night. We did hit 3 plays in the Tigers and Twins game, so we're already guaranteed a profitable night last night. Thank God. We've been kind of through a rough little boxing match, if you will, with the MLB here, but we don't have any, I guess, final plays to recap because at the time you guys watching this, I'll be either on a plane or traveling for pretty much the entire day. So I wanted to get these videos out. So yes, we're recording this a little bit before, so we don't have every line available. You see some of the graphics are missing. And we don't have many player props lines even out for tomorrow at my times as you're watching this today's game. So keep an eye on the pinned comment. We'll update you guys and keep you posted with whatever we're rolling with over there, as well as the Discord. We have a free Discord with 6,000 plus people in there just talking shop. Go check it out. That link is at pretty much the bottom of the description, so go find it. But I might be keeping you guys updated there as well, because again, I'll be traveling for most of the day. We're still going to go through the slate here, but maybe some missing info in terms of what we're doing and whatnot as I'm recording this day before. So enough ranting from me, guys. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and let's go ahead and jump into this game. But first, got a shout out the Daily Dinger. Shout out to Lefty here. Calls Shohei Ohtani with the home run. Shohei does indeed go deep in a massive win for the Dodgers last night. It's weird to say last night because I'm recording this that night. But shout out to Lefty. If you guys don't know what the Daily Dinger is, just use that hashtag Daily Dinger and let me know who you think is hitting a home run. And then I'll give a shout out to one random person that gets it correct in the next video, if anyone gets it correct. Some of the Daily Dinger days have been a little dry as of late, but guys, go ahead and comment using that hashtag. But let's jump into game number 1 here. We got the Yankees taking on Oakland. This should be an easy call here. I mean, look at the odds. Minus 260 Yankees on the money line. Total sitting at 8 runs right now. Yankees coming off of a winning series against Tampa Bay, though they didn't really cruise through that series like I thought they would. And Oakland coming off of a sweep, or getting swept, against Cleveland. So I think this is going to be a Yankee spot. On the mound is going to be Carlos Rodon. And again, if you're not aware after watching the first few minutes of this video, I'm recording this the night before, so all is subject to change. Right now, we got Rodon on the mound going up against JP Sears for Oakland. Maybe that could change, in the interim. So make sure you check pitchers and whatnot before rolling with or fading any of these. But anyways, we got Rodon on the mound for the Yankees going up against JP Sears. Rodon definitely off to a an up and down start, I would say. In his first few starts here, he's had kind of a tough outing, but he's gone up against Houston, Arizona, who hits lefties well. Then he played against Miami. Should have probably pitched a little bit better than that. And then Toronto. So it's not like he had like a cupcake schedule with the exception of Miami. JP Sears has a couple good starts in a row here. Last 2 starts, going up against Texas, let 0 runs in through 6 1/3. And then he pitched 5 innings against St. Louis, 2 hits, 1 earned run. So he's kind of, pitching well. But again, the books aren't stupid. Minus 260. They know that this is going to be a spot for the Yankees overall. It's just a matter of anyone, and I don't think they can sort of swallow those odds at minus 260. So maybe we're looking at the Yankees in some sort of a money line parlay there. Total sitting at 8 runs. I think that someone may go under just due to the fact that, okay, so in the Yankees series against Tampa Bay, we didn't really see this powerhouse of offense, to be honest. And Oakland, obviously not a powerhouse offense. And then you flash it up. In fact, we can look at the dashboard here that we've built. I'll also have a link to this in the pinned comment. Free dashboard for everyone as of right now. We may charge, we may only subject to members pretty soon, but as of right now, everyone can check it out. But I'm not seeing green lights like it's a Christmas tree or anything like that. A lot of reds, a lot of yellows, and a lot of oranges when looking at both these teams. So I don't think that the offense is going to be all that great. The bullpen's kind of decent too as of right now. So this is going to be a spot where I maybe take a peek at the under. Maybe a team total under for Oakland. But again, Rodon hasn't looked all that tremendous, so maybe we stick with full game under. Keep an eye on the pinned comment. We'll keep you posted there if we roll with anything. And I meant to let you guys know, so for the next, I guess, week, maybe 5-6 days, the videos will look a little bit different. We have our road set up, so obviously we've invested in some decent stuff to still continue some good quality content, but there'll be shorter videos, and we're not going to go through each and every game on the slate. We'll just kind of give you our 3 to 5 plays for the day, and maybe add some in the pinned comment, that type of thing. That's what we do when we're on the road, on vacation, or traveling. So just wanted to flag that you guys will still make videos as much as we can every single day, even if we're waking up kind of like last night was tough, but it's time to record. But the videos may look a little bit different, right? So I just wanted to let you guys know before we do get deeper into this video that tomorrow's video, the next video probably will look a little bit different, FYI. All right, Pittsburgh taking on Milwaukee here. Pittsburgh's favored in this one as Jared Jones is on the mound for them. On the season, the kids look pretty damn good. I mean, he hasn't necessarily pulled together the wins, but 3.13 ERA, a .78 whip, a FIP of 3, an expected FIP today of 2.17. Like, I can't sit here and say that, that this is going to be a spot in which he gets tagged around by Milwaukee, even though they do have such a good lineup here. Joe Ross going for Milwaukee, kind of a different story. 4.91 ERA, 1.7 whip. The FIP actually looks pretty good at 2.93, but an expected FIP today at 4.5, so he's due for some regression overall. The one problem I see here is that this is a spot in which, yeah, Jared Jones can go out there and deal and do his thing. But overall, like, if we kind of just take a peek at what we're looking at here on the dashboard, Jared Jones's pitch mix is going to be fastball and slider, maybe with a changeup, right? But look at Milwaukee against that pitch mix so far. Fastball, they rank 3rd in terms of runs above average for that pitch. Slider, is going to be his next pitch, and those are pretty much the only 2 pitches he throws. They rank best in the entire MLB, so it's really hard for me to look at this and say, okay, you know what, let's trust these greened out numbers when these greened out numbers are tagging those 2 pitches. We flip it over to the Pittsburgh side of things, right? We're looking at sinker and slider. Sinker and slider, okay, they hit the slider fine, but the sinker doesn't look all that well. Like, this is probably a spot in which I want to fade the pitcher, so I'm going to lean towards Milwaukee on the money line. They're playing better baseball. Like, the Pirates just got swept by the Red Sox, so if you want to take the approach of, well, they're going to be fired up and probably win this series and whatnot, sure, you can go that angle, but I'm going to kind of look at the Brewers here saying, hey, we crushed this series. Now, they won 2 of the 3 games, by only scoring 2 runs, so I view that as, hey, I think they have some offense left in the tank. They also had scored 12 runs in one of those games, but I do think that Milwaukee didn't even show their best offense that entire series. So for plus money, I'm going to lean towards the offense in this spot, which also will lend me to lean towards the over here, as Pittsburgh's bullpen isn't all that great either. If you are looking for Jared Jones to deal, I don't think it's a bad spot to take Pittsburgh. They are still at home, facing the Brewers, who, like I said, the offense hasn't looked as good as it did, and the Pirates are coming off of being swept. So I can see your angle to getting to Pittsburgh, but if it wasn't for the fact that this is a 2-pitch kid and Milwaukee tags both of those pitches, I just can't get myself there to Pittsburgh. So I'm going to look at Milwaukee as well as potentially the over. All right, Cincinnati taking on Philadelphia. We do not know who's on the mound for Philadelphia as of right now. Cincinnati is trotting out Hunter Green as of right now. Cincinnati swept the Angels, who, if you flash back to the Angels, they actually put up a good fight in their last series, so give them a little bit of credit there. But the real credit I want to give is to Philadelphia, who, yes, you're like, oh, well, they just had 2 cakewalk series, right? Colorado, and then they played Chicago. Now they travel to Cincinnati, but this is a Philadelphia team that I think is starting to get things on track, if that makes sense. I have to assume that after their offense is starting to come alive. Like, their last few games, 5, 7, 7, 9, and 8 runs that they've done and they've contributed. Now, Cincinnati's offense looked okay in that Angels series, but prior to that, 3-1-1 in 3 games against Seattle in terms of their runs scored. So this is a tough spot for me to like. Cincinnati coming, or hosting this Philly team that their offense is sort of red hot. But, and it's a big but, who's pitching for Philadelphia? We had Nola go today or yesterday when you guys were watching this. Wheeler, Turnbull, Sanchez, Suarez. Like maybe it's Suarez again or Sanchez. Like if it's one of the normal guys, I think I lean towards Philadelphia here on the money line because I believe their bats are coming alive. But if they're gonna say, okay, let's give another guy a day of rest or toss an opener or something like that, I don't know if I can back Philadelphia, but if it is one of their normal rotating starters, I think I lean towards Philadelphia in this spot. Those bats are going to come alive at some point. Are they amazing at hitting right-handed pitchers? No, but they're starting to put up runs. But if I am going to take this, I probably am going to be looking at the first 5. I know that Cincinnati's bullpen is not very good, so why aren't you taking the full game? I think that Philadelphia's bullpen's worse than Cincinnati, or they actually have been overall to start the year, so I'm leaning towards Philadelphia, potentially first 5. In terms of a total, I gotta lean over. I gotta lean over. I think Hunter Green has had some hit or miss sort of starts this season. Going up against the Phillies last time he played, he pitched okay, but only got through 4 innings. And even in his last couple starts here, he has 2 of his 4 starts. He hasn't even made it into the 6th inning. So if he gets tagged around early to a Philly offense that's starting to maybe cook up a little bit, I don't necessarily know what's in store for the bullpen. So I gotta lean towards the over. All right, Tampa Bay taking on Detroit. We have Littell on the mound for Tampa Bay going up against Tariq Screwball for Detroit. Screwball I've been backing, I've been liking overall, which is obviously, I do think that he's a good pitcher. Kind of a tough outing last time. Not really, but to some degree. So he had 6 Ks through 6 1/3. 4 runs came in, only 2 of them earned. Okay, walked a guy. So that's what I mean. It's kind of like an up and down spot here, whereas Littell had his first bad start of the year last game, and it was against the Angels, who just had really a good night against him. 5 2/3, 8 hits, 1 dinger, 7 Ks, 3 earned runs. Still averaged under 20 pitches per inning, so it's not like he get tagged around or anything like that. So this is, to me, what could be the making of a battle of the arms, which immediately I look at the under. Unfortunately, I'm looking at the under, and then the books beat us to it, right? It's at 7.5 right now, so I still don't necessarily mind it. Maybe we can catch a nice first 5 under. But when it comes to to a spread pick here, I think or side pick, excuse me. I think it might be worth taking a chance here on Detroit. Not really taking a chance. It's pretty much a pick 'em spot. So I think it might be worth backing the better pitcher, I would say. And if we do go backing the better pitcher and everything like that, I think it's really worth taking the full game for Detroit. These two bullpens are tales of 2 different stories. Tigers have an amazing bullpen as of right now, and Tampa Bay may be one of the worst, if not in the entire league. So give me Detroit full game on the money line, and then a slight lean towards the under, maybe a first 5 under if we look at that, because again, Tampa Bay's bullpen can just blow games, so I don't really feel all that comfortable taking the under with them overall. And guys, you'll notice that we're not really getting to many player props. It's because not many player prop lines are out as of right now. We will work to have some player props in the final plays, hopefully. We're going to buy the Wi-Fi on the plane and everything because we got you guys. Hopefully we can put in some work. But if not, just know it's just one travel day and that type of thing, because I know we're cruising through the slate with no player props, but it is what it is as of right now. All right, Atlanta is playing right now. We have the over in that game. In fact, let me get a quick score check. I don't necessarily think it looks all that great because it was 3-0. Oh, wow. End of the 4th, 4-3. We have the over 9.5, so let's go. Here's to hoping that one cashes, because the Braves were potentially on the Braves overs were potentially on the DNB list, or I think we might do that, the do not bet list. Arizona is definitely on there to some degree, but we said that in yesterday's video as you guys watch this. That might be a thing that we do, like a new little segment. But anyways, that over looks okay right now. They're on kind of pace, so hopefully that's the case. But anyways, I'm so sidetracked here after doing that. But we don't know who's pitching for the Braves, obviously, as they're still finishing up their series against Texas. On the mound is going to be Ryan Weathers, and it's so funny because I was like, I hate this guy, and then someone in the comments yesterday was like, you kind of make it sound like the dude stinks, right? Even though he's had like a fine-ish season, like what do you expect from him? But this isn't a spot for Miami. The Braves crush left-handed pitchers. They crush pretty much every pitch that Weathers is going to throw at them. So if we go over to the dashboard here, it really doesn't matter what he's going to throw. They are greened out on everything but a splitter. He doesn't throw a splitter. Fastball, 6th best in the league, right? Slider, okay, 9th best, top 10. Changeup, okay, no better team hits it. You even look at their sinker, right? Okay, 2nd best. Even the cutter that they barely throws, third. So anything that he throws at them, they should be able to hit. This looks like they've been a little bit, small sample size, obviously still early in the year, but a little bit worse at batting lefties at home. I imagine that turns around. But this is really what we got to talk about, right? Like, how is Miami supposed to keep up with a powerhouse like Atlanta? So maybe we're looking at some sort of a big parlay. Maybe we can go Atlanta, Yankees, and then one of the other big favorites in today's slate. 3-game parlay, and maybe that's the type of thing. Comment parlay if you like that idea, because baseball is a funny sport in terms of, like, I rarely parlay the other sports. If not, we just kind of find good spots, and sometimes we will. But baseball is funny because it's like sometimes you don't want to take the -1.5 because beating a team by 2, these are professional athletes, it's not the easiest thing to do, and bullpens can blow, right? But like parlaying 2 teams together in baseball, 2 favorites, can be quite electric. So yeah, maybe we'll roll with something like that, depending on if Atlanta's, Atlanta literally might come into this being like -9,000. So that could be tough. If the total sits anywhere around 8.5, I probably lean towards the under. I think these could be like a 6-2 type win for Atlanta. If it's 7, and like who knows what the total will be, but I'm kind of giving you where I think this game will finish. I think that this could be like a 7-2 maximum type of a game. I don't necessarily think Miami comes out to the races in terms of scoring. All right, Kansas City taking on Toronto. Should be a good pitching matchup. We got Brady Singer on the mound for Kansas City, who the team has not lost yet when he starts. Going up against Yusei Kikichi, I'm getting better at saying his name, I promise, who honestly is pitching pretty well. Last 2 starts, though, it was against Seattle. It's whatever you want to say. But then New York, he held them in check. So giving the pitchers credit here in this one. And these offenses, they've had some really good games, but I don't know if it's the best of matchups for the pitcher. So I think immediately my brain goes to taking a peek at the under here. And that's good because Kansas City in home games this year has cashed the under in 55% of games. So we like to see that. And Kansas City coming off a series against Toronto, or against the Orioles, in which they dropped 2 and their offense slowly started to decline. They scored 9 runs, which is okay. That's awesome. Then they scored 7 and somehow still lost. Clearly demoralized by that. They go out there and score 0 yesterday. And then we look at Toronto, kind of a similar thing, 5-5-3. So if we're catching these offenses at the right time with 2 good pitchers on the mound, we could see a spot for an under. When it comes to where I like this game and who I like in this spot, I think I'm gonna look at the Kansas City. I almost said Kansas City Chiefs, Kansas City Royals here. I like Brady Singer. He should mix it up between, slider, fastball, sinker. Toronto against sliders really, really bad, and that's going to be his number 1 pitch. They do hit the sinker and fastball well, but if sinker slider's working, it's going to be a tough feat for Toronto to fare well against that. Minnesota taking on Chicago. This could be, I don't know if we can really get there, but could be the spot in which, it's our next big favorite that we could pair with New York and Atlanta, if this is something that we're doing. But do we really want to bet on the Twins? Do we really want to bet on a team that just dropped a dud yesterday against Detroit? We were all over that. We had Detroit money line, Detroit first 5 money line. We had Minnesota under 3.5, all those plus money plays. So like I said, we already had a profitable night last night. I don't know what the final results are here. Maybe we'll even potentially cash that over. I think we lost the Manny Machado play. So 3-1 right now on our MLB plays, and our final play is Braves Rangers over. So maybe we'll get an update during this, but if not, no worries. But my point being, Minnesota stinks. So they're huge favorites over this team, which I can understand that. And they're going up against Jonathan Cannon, which is an amazing name for a pitcher. And he went 5 innings, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, 1 walk, 15 pitches per inning in his first start against Kansas City. So do we give him a little bit of credit there? And in terms of odds, too, it's like I don't know if I can get myself to Minnesota for -178. Like, again, on the board, that looks like it could be the 3rd piece to our parlay puzzle, right? Huge favorite New York, huge favorite Atlanta, huge favorite Minnesota. Throw them all in there, but do we trust that Minnesota's like a guaranteed win? I know Chicago stinks, all right? Now, I'm not really saying anything about Chicago here, but I might give the Chicago White Sox a little lean here for plus 150. I think that might be the spot. We have two terrible offenses. Like if we use our dashboard as to any sort of barometer, okay, Chicago and Minnesota should both stink against right-hand pitchers. We have some green on the side of the pitcher. If we're going green means good, red means bad. Now Paddock has a little bit more of a track record this season, but that track record smells as well. So it's like, what do you want? Like, he pitched against Baltimore and made it through 5 1/3, 12 hits, 9 earned runs, 2 home runs. Like, screw it. Give me the White Sox money line plus 150 as of right now. Do we pull the trigger on that? We'll see, but I don't think I can get myself to Minnesota. In terms of a total 8.5, these pitchers obviously could let up a bunch of runs, but you gotta make contact, right? And neither one of these bats are hot right now, so I'll lean towards the under. All right, St. Louis taking on Arizona here. I already said Arizona's pretty much on the DNB, do not bet list, but I'll give them credit because that wasn't an official list. We haven't created this segment yet, and they beat the Giants in their final game there. And they took 2 of the last 3. They split that series 2-2. St. Louis coming off of being swept. You have Lance Lynn now on the mound going up against Brandon Stat. So I don't really know where to come out on this one. I do think that Arizona's offense is better than St. Louis's, but not like so much, when they face against righties. Like, this is an Arizona, offense that is really a good against lefties. So for the money and the odds here, I think I lean St. Louis. Not because it's the Arizona, we're fading them. They're on the 15-day do not bet list, anything like that. That hasn't started yet. But I think I'm going to trust Lance Lynn over Brandon Stat, who has a 5.32 ERA on the season. He is due for some progression with a 3.62 whip. But I just don't necessarily like what I've seen out of Arizona as of late. And I think, St. Louis getting swept by Milwaukee in, I guess you could say, 2 of those games they had a chance. Definitely game 1. They probably should have won, to be honest. They just could not score anybody. We cashed, so I won that bet because I was on the Milwaukee side, but I know that St. Louis probably should have won. I think they might come out with a little bit more fire and say, okay, you know what? Let's go do our thing. Let's try and take care of business here. So give me them on the money line. In terms of a total, neither offense is impressing me right now. I just wish that we had 2 more studs on the mound in Fadat and Lynn, but I'm going to lean towards the under regardless, hoping that those guys have their best stuff. This could be the third piece of the parlay puzzle here. I'm looking at San Diego taking on Colorado, and Austin Gomber's on the mound. I don't understand how Austin Gomber still has a job. I feel like for 2.5 years now, we've looked at him be just good enough to stay in a starting, or 2 years, just good enough to stay in a starting rotation, but never seems to get anything to click, right? Going up against Dylan Cease, who, you guys know I like me some Cease time, even though he really hasn't been all that great as of late, but pitching edge, bullpen edge, and batting edge to San Diego here. So this should be a spot in which maybe we could find that missing piece. Yankees, Atlanta, and San Diego money line. Let me know in the comments by commenting parlay if you like that, and we'll see what we get for odds. I'm not exactly sure as to what we can get yet. In fact, we don't have Atlanta. Oh, we do have Atlanta odds. All right, let's see. This is a rough estimate as to those 3 teams. Money line plus 292 on BetMGM. So could be a spot, okay, for us to have some fun to lead off our vacation in a nice spot. So that could be a spot that we look at here. In terms of a total, I hate that I love fading the altitude, but it's been cashing, right? Like, this is a Colorado team that, it's not like they're gonna go over every single game. My concern is, San Diego comes in and are they gonna be the team that's able to go over? They just scored 6 runs in Toronto. They head over to high altitude. Can they score a bunch of runs? But I'm still sticking to it. No one's touching Cease today, so unless San Diego scores 11 runs themselves, I'm sticking to the under. All right, LA Angels taking on the Baltimore Orioles here. Albert Suarez on the mound for the Orioles. He has 1 start this season, 5 2/3, 0 earned runs, 4 Ks, only 3 hits. Going up against Reed Detmers, Reed, whatever you want to call him, who is putting together a really good season, which is surprising to me, but I can't take anything away from him. A 1.19 ERA, 0.97 whip, 1.62 FIP, even his expected FIP is pretty good at 2.7 today. This is Baltimore for me all day long because of the offense. As long as Suarez can kind of do something remotely close to what he did in his other start, I don't mind it. And his other start was against Minnesota, so that's why I say as long as he can, because we just got finished a couple of games ago talking about how bad Minnesota's offense is. But if he can kind of pull it together, this should be a tough spot for the Angels to, be able to score on. This should be a tough spot for the Angels to be able to score on him. But Baltimore's offense, there's such a discrepancy there. So we need Baltimore to get to Detmers, and I do think that he's kind of due at some point to have like a oops start, and we just need Suarez to kind of keep it together, obviously. In terms of a total, I don't mind taking a peek at Baltimore's team total. Again, unfortunately, I'm kind of, taken away from a guy that's put together a good season so far, but I do think that Detmers is due for some sort of a regression. Total overall 8.5. Hell, I guess I'm going to lean towards Baltimore team total over. I can say let's go with the full game over, just due to the fact that both these bullpens, not exactly superb, and if Suarez doesn't look all that great and LA gets out to the races, we kind of give ourselves a little cushion there, right? All right, no lines for this one yet, but we do have pitchers listed as expected pitchers. Keaton Winn on the mound for San Francisco. Can he win this one? All right, we're done. Jose Quintana on the mound for the Mets. Winn being a righty and Quintana being a lefty. Quintana's had like a couple good looks this season, but ultimately his numbers, if you look at them cumulatively, like not all the best, probably due to the fact that, I think he didn't really go deep into the game against Atlanta, but Keaton Winn's kind of been all over the place too. 4 starts in the year, 3, 4, 2, and 1 earned runs. It looks like it's dependent on who they're going up against, but this Mets offense is nothing to like tip your nose at. Now you might be like, they scored 0 runs against LA yesterday. Sure. Do you know how due the Mets were for a dud of an offensive game? Prior to that, they went 9-9-6 in terms of their runs for. So I think that they snap right back to reality and they say, oops, there goes Keaton Winn's gravity, and the ball just sails. Give me the Mets in this spot. Better offense. Can Quintana get it together? I hope so. But even using our dashboard here, you could see Mets on the road against right-handed pitchers looking super, super good here. We should get a decent amount of fastballs from Winn as well as splitters. I'm hoping we get more fastballs and splitters because if you take a peek at the pitch mix here, we have Winn who throws, 21% fastball. Sure, they'll see plenty of those, but then he throws a lot of splitters. If we can up this number, we could have a nice little spot there. So give me the Mets on the money line. Don't know what the total is going to be yet, but overall, I don't expect this to be a pitching game. I want Quintana to do enough to keep the Mets in this one, but yeah, I think I'm going to lean towards the over if it's anywhere around a normal total of 8 type of thing. So guys, no player props as of yet. I do apologize for that, but we're recording this super late. We have a 5 a.m. flight, so I don't even know if I'm going to sleep tonight. Maybe we'll try and catch some Z's in the plane, but that's when we're supposed to be working. So what a tough life I live. But guys, appreciate everyone tuning in. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and comment 27. I know this video was kind of rushed through and everything like that, but I'd rather, get a good quality video out, even if we don't have everything we need, versus saying, hey, there's an excuse to not do it. You know what I mean? So hope you guys do appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right? Peace out.